It's time for the Steve and Kyle podcast with Steve.
If there is something out there that I would want to see less than that, I don't know what it is yet.
It's your drunk wife
Top off.
answering like, what's my favorite move in the sack?
Yeah, my go-to finishing move.
And then the first word you go, well, I haven't used it in about 15 years.
Oh, no.
The
loser I'm with now isn't equipped enough to handle it.
And Kyle.
I'm just assuming you wouldn't choose a guys or friend weekend to Kokomo. No offense to Kokomo, which is, I'm sure, a fine city in a fine state.
It's a wonderful place.
That's in Indiana? Indiana, the lovely state, the home of Lincoln. Mm-hmm. That is, I'm
That's
sure...
Illinois.
Close enough.
Right next door.
Live on tape from APS 3 point whatever, it's the Steve and Kyle podcast.
I had forgotten about the possibility that my wife is going to go on a girls' trip to Nashville and become the next Hawk-Tua girl.
That's right. Find viral fame.
Boy. I mean, we were just talking about this before we started recording. That'd be fantastic. Hawk-Tua girl's doing pretty well.
Yeah, just think.
Just
in 1 year.
Signed a big podcast deal.
Yeah, in 1 year, your wife could be talking to Jake Paul on a weekly basis.
You know, I'd be okay with that. That I feel like there's a lot of money surrounding that, surrounding that group, and I can be blissfully unaware.
Yeah, just put your head in the go flamingo.
Right in the sand.
Absolutely.
Dig down deep, right in the sand.
Steve, I know I'm looking at this sheet, and I didn't even add the things that I need to get to. We have way too much to get to, and we have a hard out today. And
yeah, you got a big baseball game today, right?
Yeah, the season kicks off, and by season, I mean the last 8 games of the year for Reed's baseball season, where they all hit off a coach pitch, and then they all hit off a tee when they inevitably don't hit the coach pitch, and they all run to first. There's no outs. They play for an hour,
and
about 35 minutes in, they all ask, "Is it snack time yet?"
Has an out ever been recorded?
Yes, but they still don't count.
Okay.
So half the team swings and hits, and then half the team swings and hits the next time, and then they do that.
How many of them?
One more time.
If there was a percentage to say how many kids, when swinging, when the ball's on the tee, hit the tee instead of the ball?
60%.
Okay.
60%.
Yeah. So you're in it. You're in the thick of it. You're in the thick of young children's sports.
Yeah. The best part of it is that it lasts 1 hour. Like, there's an end time, right?
I feel like that wasn't a thing when I was a kid. I feel like those games went on forever.
Well, maybe not. And that's probably why child abuse was so much more prevalent back then.
God, I just remember standing in the outfield for what seemed like hours.
Yeah, I'll post it on the poll. Was child abuse much more prevalent with untimed t-ball games?
Yeah.
Because I think it was. But
back in the 80s and 90s.
I sent you a text 2 days ago with something I need to talk about as well.
Oh, yeah. I purposely didn't ask any follow-ups.
I'm mere hours away from leaving for the world's greatest Disney World trip, and I have an idea for that as well that I'm going to do. I think I'm going to try to remember to do nightly while I'm there.
Okay.
That I want to ask if you think that would be a good idea, or if you'd be in favor of that.
Cool.
Because it might be at the expense of you, so I want to ask.
All right.
So I feel like we need to get it out of the way again at the top here.
Yeah.
If you could go ahead and grab a 60-second timer with the buzzer. So if we could just knock this off at the start like we've done in the past, Steve, and go ahead and maybe get Steve's top 60 today. Because what we've done in the past...
Oh, of course.
What we've done in the past when we don't want to hear from you...
is just get it out of the way early.
We knock out all of your interesting stories right at the top. And that's why it's called Steve's Top 60.
Yeah.
I just thought of that right now because we didn't really have a reason for that. And we give you 60 seconds to recap your week, anything major going on. And then I think if something were to really shock me, right, or us as a whole, be like, well, hey, there's some meat on that bone.
Okay.
We could always come back to it. But I'm 100% confident that's not going to happen.
I mean, I don't want to spoil anything for you, but I feel like that's going to be pretty accurate for you.
I mean, I think the biggest news in the Steve house is the news I already received from your daughter while I was giving Toby all the pets about her new school friends. That's the biggest news in the Steve house.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. Yeah, school started a couple of weeks ago.
But I'll leave that to you.
Okay.
If you want to wedge that into
by the way,
Steve's top 60.
do you think you could shut up? Because we got to get to my top 60.
So sorry.
Oh, well, apparently this timer has no sound. Cool. That seems useless.
Now, in the past, we've gotten such nuggets from this of you like...
Okay, timer number 2. No sound as well. These seem pointless.
I'll type a 60-second ticking clock. Yeah, there it is. 60 seconds, 1 minute countdown timer with clock ticking.
Okay, 60-second time. See, I just typed in 60-second timer with buzzer.
I got a ticking clock on that.
Okay.
By the way, big news in the neighborhood, not in the Zach, but I saw Halloween Vomit House was back up and running.
They are
earlier than ever this year.
No, I thought that too at first, but then I remembered. I'm pretty sure it was September 1 last year.
Really? Oh,
yeah.
I love the spirit.
All right, now if you could shut up for a minute, because I got to get to the big news. My big news for the day, for Saturday, September 7th. Kyle, boy, yesterday was a big day. My buddy Ben stopped over. He's very, very experienced in the electrical field. Got the electrical out in the shop nearly done. By the end of today, I'm going to be able to walk out there, hit a light switch. The lights are going to turn on. Because as you know, last week I buried the 2224 aluminum quadruplex cable throughout the yard. Dug a trench from the house out to the shop, about 125 feet. I'm glad you asked. Got that all done. Had to rewire some of the 12 gauge yesterday because I had realized I messed it up a little bit when I did it the first time, but that's okay. No problems. We're gonna get that done. Power's gonna be on, so I'm gonna be able to hook up the compressor, everything. By the way, I might need your help getting the compressor from the garage out to the shop. 60-gallon Ingersoll Rand compressor.
Boy.
Appreciate you letting me get that in. Thank you very much.
Maybe next week, could you put the good stuff in the first 60?
Oh,
the next 60?
That was the good stuff.
Would like the record to note there in Steve's top 60. Not a single mention of his family.
Yeah.
But electrical and his friend Ben.
Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah, thank you, Ben. Appreciate the help. Steve's top 60.
I almost asked while I was in the living room giving Toby pets and Evelyn was chatting away. Mm-hmm. I almost dared to ask what the dirt track was for in the backyard.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Until I thought, why?
You hadn't seen that last week?
No. And I thought, why would I even ask? Because one, I know I already don't care about the answer. It's simply trying to be nice. Yeah. I know it's something workshop related, which I also don't care about. This is no offense to the lovely garage and workshop you've built. I just don't care.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why, I mean, at no point would I have thought I need to tell Kyle about this.
Sure.
I'm well aware that, what are there, 168 hours in a week, I think? 24 times 7. Yeah, 168 hours in a week. For the 166 and a half hours that we are not together during that week, I understand that you don't care about what I'm doing. I don't care about what you're doing.
Yeah.
We seldomly interact. Text here and there. Maybe oh, look at this picture. Like you said, you sent me that picture the other day. I was like, huh, cool. Don't care.
I've texted more with Brother Mike this week. Talked to Brother Mike more this week than I have with you.
Yeah. I think that I meant to text Brother Robert. I heard something about a birthday. Decided not to text him.
Oh, well, in that case, happy birthday, Robert. Hope it was a good one.
Big 4-0, huh?
Yeah, that's what the internet tells me.
But anyway.
But here's what I want to chime in with. You got all this electrical minutia, and
yeah, man, you ever try to bend a 2224 quadruplex aluminum through a 1.5-inch conduit?
Let me tell you what you've done incorrectly.
Boy,
here.
going through the LB was definitely tough.
And I'm glad you asked. Because here's where you've gone wrong.
Okay. Oh, good. Here, let me grab a pen.
Well, let me just give you the
notes.
equivalent to my house what happened.
Okay. No, that is what is. See, for me, the last couple of weeks, my Roman Empire has been wiring up the shop.
So you're watching some casual YouTube videos just to get some hot tips?
A lot. It's so much so, in fact, that when I'm scrolling through Facebook or Instagram now, all of the like recommended ads are for like, you won't believe this high voltage mistake, and it's some guy with a hard hat and like touching a line and he gets electrocuted,
wearing his metal boots.
Yeah, like there needs to be a way. The algorithms have to be smart enough to know that I'm not interested in this. I simply need an answer to a question.
That's right.
You know, if I search how much are Cocoa Puffs at the local store, I don't want a feed of nothing but, here's the history of Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah.
Did you know that Cocoa Puffs are 8% whatever? Don't care.
Right.
How are the algorithms so smart, but just not smart enough?
Right. It's just off enough that it doesn't, it doesn't really, part of you can still tell, all right, we still got the edge over robots. Which again, the Steve policy is not worried about robots because as always, just
unplug it. Deprive
Okay.
it of the power source.
And you win. There. War's over.
So I need to know what your Roman Empire has been the last couple of weeks.
Well,
and I think I know.
Well, my Roman Empire has been pretty much this Disney trip coming up. Talking to a friend of the show, Leanne, Fotz Leanne. And, but that's not what I want to tell you what you did wrong here.
Oh, okay.
What I want to tell you is the other day I got some very, very cursory Halloween stuff out. I was looking for some lights that I could put on the deck that I have. I just couldn't find them, so I left.
Already? That's
solar. I wanted to make sure they were solar, and I wanted to make sure that I could get them charged.
So you were, like, with the intention of setting them up?
Yeah.
That is really surprising.
Halloween?
That's really surprising. I know that you love Halloween, but nobody has more arbitrary lines in the sand for when things can be displayed and then when they have to be taken down than you.
Yeah, well, the Halloween decorations in my house come down Halloween night by about 8:30.
Yeah, typically you're out on the front step, and if a kid walks up at 7:02 when Halloween trick-or-treating is done at 7 o'clock, you drop kick them off your porch and say, yeah,
it's over.
Come back next year.
Yeah, come back tomorrow where, singing the Mariah Carey Christmas song.
Yeah.
Because for me, that's how it transitions.
And you have like a ghost in your hand from that you're obviously taking down already.
It all comes down. Some of the sticky stuff on the windows will, next day, whatever. But yes, all the stuff definitely outside. It's all getting piled in night of. But I was looking for some Halloween stuff, and when Reed got home from school, came downstairs to see me, saw that stuff sitting out, and very sweetly asked if he could put some stuff up. I said, absolutely, kid. Here, I'll help you take this witch's cauldron up that has different decorations piled into it.
Again, very surprising. It's going to be like 90 degrees next week.
Yeah, that's fine. I won't be here. Pile it on there. So he comes back downstairs a few minutes later and says, Daddy, can you help me? I think this needs new batteries. And I said, yeah, absolutely. He'd already gotten the small screwdriver for one of those, very small battery packs.
Yep.
I said, can you go in the storage room there and go to the battery daddy, which if you don't have...
You're talking to a battery daddy right here. I didn't realize you were a battery daddy too.
Of course I'm battery daddy.
Okay. Thank you. Common ground. See that? 434 episodes, and that's only like the fourth example of common ground that we've found.
And Reed brought the
Maybe
two
throw
batteries
that up
in.
on the poll. Are you a battery daddy?
Are you not sexual? Well, I don't care. It could be sexual.
Yeah, take it however you want.
So I, unscrewed it. We put the two new batteries in. He flipped the switch on. His face lit up with this.
So it's like singing a song or something,
no,
or
just
blinking.
like 12 little white lights with, in the shapes of ghosts or pumpkins, whatever these ones may be.
Kids are simple.
And sprinted towards the stairs to go upstairs, yelling to Katie that Daddy fixed it. Okay? Check mark.
Is there there's no better feeling.
Right there. Okay.
Nikki comes up to me at least 4 times a day with something that is broken in half that clearly cannot be fixed. Dada, fix it? I'll be like, yeah, no problem. I'll fix it. Wrap some tape around it, hand it back to him. And I'm a genius to him.
Yeah. But here's where you set yourself up for failure. And again, I'm glad you asked. Is those problems don't matter probably pretty soon once, the realization is that, Dad ran electrical 125 feet to a garage.
It was actually 175 feet when you include the interior that I had to run.
But anyway, I replaced these batteries.
Like I had to run conduit through the house because you can't run service entry cable.
Conduit.
Can't run service entry cable not in
Didn't
conduit.
know we were in an HOA. The condos.
No, conduit.
Same thing. You've now set that up, so eventually, probably not too distant in the future, the idea of replacing batteries or whatever is now nothing. And it's already been nothing to Annette. Like if you go out there and change your oil, replace the tire, or, fix a curling, whatever it may be, it's meaningless because you've now done these bigger things. I, in turn, have set my family up for such disappointment that they will never expect that outside of me opening the checkbook and writing the dollar amount for the professional to fix those items.
So you're saying I've set my bar too high.
Right. The little things aren't going to matter.
You have intentionally set yours low, or?
I just don't have the ability to set it high.
Okay.
For those type of projects. As we know, I still, when I come home most days, the shoe rack I built, which is like 8 feet long, 5 shelves, I still give it a little pull, and I give myself a smile and a nod because I did that. Yeah. And my family knows that is the peak. Do you know what I did when they were gone? They visited my brother-in-law in Virginia, my Katie and Reed. They went down there. I did not join. And when they were gone, I was actively searching out not blueprints, but plans to how to build like a waterproof wooden toy chest that I wanted to replace like an old plastic one that we keep under the deck that has, its base is kind of that, like not chipboard, but super thin.
Yeah. It's probably rotting
wood.
Away.
Yeah. And I did that for 30 minutes. I never spoke a word of it because I did not want to get anybody to think that this is something that I could do. And you know what I found out after 30 minutes? It's not something I can do.
Okay. So I understand you're from the mindset of the undersell, over deliver.
Right. Like like me
Kyle, can you please stand up and walk across the room?
Yep.
I don't know if I can handle that. And then when you do it, it's like you won the Super Bowl.
Right.
Okay. So you're saying that I am setting myself up for a lifetime of having to at least try to do everything they ask.
Well, let's see. So when Nicky B is, 15, going on 16, swooping his hair out of his eye.
Yeah.
After getting done talking down to his mom and then ask you if you can build a go-kart or whatever. And you say, no, I can't do that. Oh, really, Dad? You built a garage and you ran electrical 175 feet.
It's actually about 200 feet again.
And I feel like it's important to tell you that the condos don't care.
The problem with this is, whereas you have no desire, like if Reed came to you when he was 15 and said, I want to build a go-kart.
No, that I would jump in.
Would you?
I wouldn't know where to start, though.
Right. See, with me, I'm going to be, because I always wanted a go-kart, so even at that time, I'll be, 55 or whatever. 55-year-old Steve, I guarantee, is still going to want a go-kart just as much as 12-year-old Steve wanted a go-kart. So I'm going to be all in. I'm going to want nothing more than to build a go-kart with this kid.
Right. So maybe a bad example, but the idea of something that maybe you either, 1, don't know if you could do, physically you don't know if you could do, or 3, you just don't really want to do. You have now set yourself up for, I guess Dad gets to build his own big garage and, run electric, 125 feet all the way from the
about
house.
200 feet, actually. Remember, 1.5-inch conduit, that 90-degree long sweep. That was pretty easy, but it was the LB was difficult. That was a 2-person job.
Definitely said LD there. And I swear to God, if I ever have to know what LB means or LB is,
I don't know what it means either.
Okay, good.
That's just what it's called. just what it's called.
You've already got the backup career. I know we talked about this, it was a few years ago.
Yeah.
When I asked you what you want to do when the monkeys all hang it up, right? They all go hang out in the canopy.
I do not have a backup career. And I'm reminded of that anytime I work with somebody
who does have the
have the skill set.
Yeah.
Like yesterday, again, when Ben was here helping me out with some of the electrical. He's like, yeah, just cut that wire, strip it back, and attach it to the bottom lug on that switch. I was hooking up a light switch. There's like one wire that goes in the top, one wire that goes in the bottom. Mm-hmm. I swear, I monkeyed with that thing for like 6 minutes. And he's up on a ladder, and I can just hear him, like, I can hear his eyes.
Watching me, and saying, what the hell are you doing? Almost got it. It's just a couple more turns of the... Oh, man. Then I dropped the screwdriver.
Yeah. I don't know if I think that I get nervous when I'm working with somebody who really knows what they're doing.
Oh, listen, it's similar for even hobbies, right? It's for me, it's similar for golf. Golfing with other people, or if other people that you don't know are watching and play through. I'm like, oh, no, you guys go ahead. You don't need to see this drive off the tee that's going to take more grass than ball.
I don't want to embarrass you with how good I am.
But there's something to be said about that idea that you get a little nervous when a professional's with you.
Yeah, because all of the things that I thought I knew, I forget, or the terminology that I thought was right, it turns out is wrong. That's a humbling experience. Like, I built that entire building nearly on my own. And I know it's not perfect, but when I look outside or I walk out to that building, I'm pretty damn proud of it, because I think you did this on your own. But then, yesterday, all I want to do is tighten this screw, and I'm screwing it up, and I'm dropping things, and I'm like, all of a sudden I don't know what I'm doing. I accidentally cut my hand off.
Yeah. It's a fun look at your backyard if you look at the dichotomy of, the massive garage that you had built and workshop and that you just run electric up of 100 feet, I hear, out there.
That's approximately 200 feet.
Concrete
slab. Again,
the
2224 aluminum quadruplex.
We're really digging into the
It's called service entry cable. It's got to be buried. Yeah, I'm glad you asked. 18 inches down.
It's really nitpicky on the 100 to 200. I mean, it's pretty close. And but then if you, pull your eyes in 25 feet, you have a swing set hanging off a cliff.
Boy, that swing set is level for the ground that it's on.
But with that garage, you wouldn't have allowed one of the sides of your roof to be at like a 30-degree angle.
Look, it's much more level back there. What can I say?
Because of the concrete you paid for, right?
If we want to switch them, the shop will be out of level.
But and trust me, I do not intend this to build you up at all. That's not my goal.
Thank you.
But I feel like you're probably being a little more difficult on yourself for something that is not a hobby. It's not like you're in your free time just thinking electrical for fun if you're not doing a project, right?
No.
Whereas these people have studied it, done the apprenticeship, done the years of actual labor for electrical, whereas you have spent those same years in the trenches. At the radio station.
Look, you need something edited from 3 minutes down to 2.5 minutes.
I used to be a pro at that.
I'm your guy.
I'm a pro at it now.
You want me to? Oh, you want something saved at a 64 kbps bit rate? No problem.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. You need a normalizer on that?
Yeah. That's going to cut your file size in half. You got restrictions on how much audio you can upload on a monthly basis? I'm your guy.
I feel like the monkeys call it tomorrow, right? They say tomorrow, all done. I can't do one more day with this, wheel bearing of a person, Steve, sitting across from me.
Oh, so I'm going to be the reason that they call it quits?
A reason. Maybe maybe they're all just super happy outside of it. Doesn't matter.
Maybe.
And you had to go tomorrow to figure out something else. I feel like you have a leg up on 95% of the normies out there who haven't done an ounce of electrical outside of changing a light bulb, the very, very minuscule stuff.
I think that the advantage that I have is that I'm curious enough and stupid enough to not know what I don't know. So like at the beginning of the electrical project, I was like, this seems pretty easy. I could do this. I'll just look it up.
Yeah.
There's codes. They tell you exactly what you have to do.
Yeah.
I always underestimate. I'm like, this is going to take like a day.
That's your problem.
Yeah, exactly. But again, I'm dumb enough and naive enough to think I can pretty much do anything. And when I accomplish something, like when I accomplished last year building that shop, all that does is bolster my confidence and make me think, I learned a lot there. This next step is going to be easy. I legitimately thought that I'd be able to do all of the electrical, from like burying cable and hooking it up to the main panel, running it underground, wiring up the entire shop. I legitimately thought that was a weekend project. I'm 4 weeks into it, probably.
Do you tell these two Annette? Do you say it'll just be the weekend?
No, I've learned from that. Okay. I've learned not to do that.
Because that's another way to really have her look at you less so.
Yeah.
Not the fact that you can even do the project, which again is more than the vast majority of adults and people can do anyway, right? But the idea that you've done all this, and maybe she's impressed, probably not, but then you decide, I'm going to run electric the weekend. But then when you're 4 weeks in, yeah, I think even in lieu of you building this shop and having electrical and all this stuff, you saying a weekend and then it being 4 weeks, her opinion is now less of you than before the shop even got built.
Now, granted, in my defense, a weekend to me would be like Friday afternoon, get home from work. I'm starting on it at 2 o'clock. I'm working until 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night. Yeah. Wake up 7 o'clock on Saturday morning. I'm working on it straight from 7 in the morning till 5 at night. Same thing on Sunday. If I had that opportunity, then maybe there's a slight chance I could get it all done in one weekend.
Well, you heard it here first.
But
it's his kid's fault.
But the problem is I go out there and I'm out there for 15 minutes before I hear Nikki crying because he, fell off the roof or something, or Evelyn upset because Nikki looked at her funny. And so I get 15 minutes here, a half hour there, an hour there. So just work on it when the kids are in bed, Steve. Oh, okay.
It's pitch black.
Yeah, so go out there at 8 p.m. And then I want to go to bed at 9 p.m. Yeah. So there's an hour. I'd like to think that if I got fired tomorrow, or if the monkeys decided to close up shop tomorrow,
go hang out in their own canopies, or
I would have, I don't know, I think I have at least enough people in my life where I could say, can you get me a job, like doing anything?
Right.
I'll sort widgets on the assembly line.
They're going to say mail, and then, boy, would that be a turn. Steve?
No. Absolutely not. No chance I would ever work for that corrupt organization, the USPS.
Boy, there's no way to transition to this, Steve. So bear with me.
Mm-hmm. Is it just us? Just us talking?
I think I killed another baby animal.
All right. We closed out the first half of this episode with quite a teaser from you, Kyle. What now you sent me a picture the other day.
Yep.
And I was like, oh boy, he's back at it. He's Kyle's saving the world once again.
This one's weighing on me.
I got a question. Why do you even bother with? Didn't you have a mouse in your house or something? Was it a mouse?
So let me give you a somewhat brief recap of this house, which I now think is haunted.
Oh, well, perfect, because you love
spooky season. Not this type of haunting sucks. I would much prefer like a ghost, booing while I'm taking a shower.
Again, I mean, to be haunted or spooky, it's got to have a ghost, a bat, and things that go bump in the night.
All those.
Yeah.
But I think my house is just haunted in terms of animals. So, the early years, no true difference from most houses. Like we found like a squirrel who had been must have fallen off the fence in the backyard and frozen in the snow. Like found it in the spring. This was years ago, right?
Okay. You try to revive it.
Well, if I wanted to hit it against the fence, I think the fence may have broken.
The writing was on the wall that squirrel was past its prime.
It was frozen. A bird who had maybe even hit the fence, something like that, dead.
Seems like the fence is the real problem here.
Well, actually, this one was found in our front, like must maybe hit the window, or that's like trying to get in.
The windows are the real problem here. You think about taking them out?
Backtrack to last year, and I as a quick recap, it was around Easter time. I noticed because we used an Easter basket that Reed had to pick up the 2 baby blue jays or some type of bluebird. I would assume blue jay, who had looked to be fallen from the nest. Made a little basket.
Those birds are notoriously buttholes.
And
wouldn't have even considered it.
Followed instructions.
Run it over with the lawnmower.
Again, these baby birds.
Right, they're not going to know.
So put them in the basket and hung it from a tree branch from the tree they fell. And that was supposed to
terrible idea.
Be the solution to that, if the mom will come back, if it finds it, which again, birds are dumb. So fast forward 24 hours from there, birds were dead in the basket.
Okay.
Gone. Had to explain death to our, at that point, 4-year-old. Which, whatever. Never too early to learn about things dying.
Maybe put that on the poll. Is it ever too early to learn about things dying?
Dying, yeah. An apostrophe on the end there. That's, and then earlier this year, we talked about the saga of the baby mice, where I was lambasted on one of the Inform pages for trying to seek out a rescue or something
I think rightly so.
Disagree.
Wait, what was it again?
2 baby mice in my house?
2 baby mice. You're the only person in history who has ever tried to save a baby mouse.
2 of them. They didn't do anything wrong. Why did they deserve to just be summarily killed, though?
No, I mean, at some point, you just have to let nature take its course. They are far, far down on the food chain.
No question, but so is our dog.
A dog is much higher than a mouse.
Still way down on the food chain, if you think about it.
It's far down on the food chain, but that is something that you have a responsibility for. You take ownership of.
I mean, my wiener dog would lose to a possum in a fight. Right? So is my wiener dog lower than the possum on the food chain?
If a possum is injured in your yard, are you going to do anything to help it? No. You do not do that.
I would.
Why?
It's just if it's a hurt, defenseless animal, why does it I'm okay with doing a very cursory internet check in terms of, one, are there rescue groups locally or tips online that I could not rehab it personally, but that I could provide it success so that if it's not deathly injured and it needs water and then will be on its way in a few hours, I'm happy to do that.
Right. I think the major mistake you made was going to the local community informed page where
for the mice is what we're referring to.
Yeah, where first of all, mice, there's no scenario where I'm trying to rehab a mouse.
Adorable.
None.
They didn't do anything
no
wrong
scenario whatsoever.
So adorable.
I'm getting a lacrosse stick and just launching them 3 blocks.
Okay. Baby, this is the poll. Baby mice, ? Your options, shoebox or lacrosse stick. Actually, it may be setting this poll up to fail, but I'll post that as lacrosse stick launch.
I think that I can't believe that in your head you thought, it's a good idea to go on this page that I troll all the time.
No, this page I don't. The page I used to somewhat troll is one I've been blocked and banned from. I'm gone. I may be even blocked and banned from another one because I got into it with a local, one of the Impact candidates a couple weeks ago on there. Yeah. But listen, is it absolutely a blind spot for me with animals? Yes, it absolutely is.
I think that it's admirable that that you want to look. Nobody wants to see an animal suffer. Don't think that I'm a terrible person because I want to.
Hang on. We are seconds removed from you saying you were going to lawnmower the Blue Jays and
they're kind of buttholes
and lacrosse stick launch the baby mice. You cannot say you are not okay with seeing animals suffer minutes after that.
For me, it's a big role is the size of the animal.
Sure.
If it's smaller...
Boy, you're painting.
If it's smaller than...
Lean into it. No sense in backtracking. Lean into it. Baby mice are getting a lacrosse stick, and baby blue jays are getting a lawnmower.
Those are very tiny, obviously. So, the line is way above them.
Oh, okay. Full-grown mouse.
No.
Okay.
It's a mouse. It's a mouse.
Yep. No, I get it. Get it. Not a rat, but a mouse.
Like,
I think there's an important distinction.
Dog, cat, yes, helping.
So domestic animal, you're not going to
domesticated animal, line is below them.
St. Steve checking in.
Do you want to throw out some animals? And I'm just we need to really dial this in.
Let me give you the example that I'm about to dive into, Steve.
Mm-hmm.
Squirrel.
No, come on,
baby squirrel.
Nope.
I mean, it feels like you're really honed in on
domesticated versus non-domesticated. That does play a big part.
Yeah,
like
so
raccoon,
ferret. Hamster.
Well, there aren't ferrets in the wild, right?
I'm just saying, if one got away, maybe it's hurt. What I don't know. Obviously, there's no true scenario that I can think of.
Okay, let me say if my kid down the line gets a pet hamster,
mm-hmm.
I am investing $0 into its health care.
My God,
$0.
My God.
Except if it's it's got a eye thing, and I can put some drops in it that I can pick up at Chowhound.
Steve Bundy over here.
Look, you've heard way too many stories about the people who are thousands and thousands of dollars in debt because their pet parrot or something got an ingrown claw or whatever.
That's just dumb. Domestic birds, brains the size of a peanut. They want to be in the wild. Birds are dumb.
So birds, you're not helping a bird.
Domestic birds.
And
I'm not even saying I'm not helping them, but do I care a little less? Yeah. I think
but you care about a squirrel?
So let me tell you what happened. So this was just the other day, and I was in the backyard. We were trying to get just stuff taken care of before it was going to rain, and I walk into the house. And Reed runs inside. Dad, come outside quick. As I run outside. Sure enough, Katie's on the ground. Reed's next to her at this point. And they say that a baby squirrel, I would estimate 4 to 6 inches long, not including the tail.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course.
Had kind of wandered around the base of the tree and was kind of chirping at them and walking right towards them. Like it was like, hey, I need help. And so the first thing is my eyes just hit the back of my head. I cannot believe I have another wounded animal under this tree. Same tree that the...
Sounds like the tree's the problem. So
I'd be happy to cut it down. That's the same tree that's causing my garage
you got problems. You got the tree is the problem. The fence is the problem. The windows are the problem.
And the haunting.
Haunting.
I mean, I don't even know how you'd rank those. Tree, windows, fence...
Haunting would be pretty high up there for me. But for you, I understand that you embrace that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And I think, okay, here we go to the point where this is inches away from Katie. It's obviously scared. It doesn't appear injured. It doesn't appear, but it appears that it may have fallen out of the tree or nest where it had been with its mom because it is a small squirrel.
Pick it up, hawk it back up there.
So
no,
let me rip off a few Band-Aids. No, I did not grab the lawnmower, and no, I did not grab a lacrosse stick.
I was going to say, how long's your grass at this point? Had you just cut?
It's due to mow. It is due to mow.
You know what they call that? 2 squirrels with 1 stone. Just saying.
So my wife already has a box out because I think she knew what my plan was going to be. Okay.
Well, yeah. I mean, Dr. Kyle, vet MD or whatever, is no doubt already researching squirrel rehab facilities in the area.
You're spot on. That's exactly what I'm doing. West Michigan
Those
Squirrel
don't
Rehab.
exist.
No, they do. West Michigan Squirrel Rehab, located about 30 minutes away from here, Steve. So I'm Googling what to do because my first question is always food and water. Are humans supposed to intervene in this situation? Are they not?
No.
Some cases you are.
Absolutely not.
But in this...
Name one. There. See?
Name one there with not a breath in between.
Look, man, sorry, you had your opportunity.
So I am looking for this while Katie is getting this squirrel into a box. Mm-hmm. I go get a...
She's an enabler, isn't she?
I would argue a little bit, possibly. Yeah, I think she shares similar, probably not to my degree of like...
For her,
let's make a small to medium effort to not kill this animal.
It's not surprising for her because of her chosen field of work. She is a sympathetic person who works in the medical industry.
Well, sympathetic to maybe her patients, not to me. If she has to help do any medical.
Do you think she just considers you a patient?
I mean, listen, there's also another thing we have to get to today, Steve, right on my hand, that I think I have to retire from all manual labor. We just don't have time.
All right. I apologize. I'll back away. I'll back off.
There's so many items that we don't have time for today. Again, this is the way it goes. Mm-hmm. Hours before Disney. And then I'm sure I'll put it all on the list next week. So we'll definitely get to it all. So we get this squirrel into the box. I go grab a bigger box from an Amazon box from the trash can. And I go grab a nice, big, warm, soft towel. Mm-hmm. Wrap it in that box.
Got to throw that towel out now.
We transfer.
Now you're out of towel.
That's a baby squirrel. It's as healthy as can be. And we transfer it to that box. And I'm looking like you're not supposed to feed it or give it water just because of the diet could mess that type of thing up for a baby
God
squirrel. Because this wasn't a baby squirrel. This was a full-grown baby squirrel. And what I mean by that is has all of its fur, a tail.
How close was the nearest spade shovel?
Closer than the Amazon box that I got.
Okay. Because with a squirrel that small, that's one shovel full of dirt, lift out that chunk of grass, drop squirrel in the hole, replace chunk of grass.
Whose team are you on? Team Steve, Team Squirrel.
I'm already planning the parade for my victory on this one.
So I was out there. It started raining. So it also says, by the way, to put the box or wherever. Now, what the internet really wanted me to do was to get like a non-timer heating pad.
Right.
And put it at the bottom of this sanctuary for the squirrel.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
I didn't want to go inside and get my heating pad and run an extension cord.
No, of course not. That would be silly.
It may have come back to bite me. So I put the box at the base of the tree because they say if it's the tree that you think the squirrel may have fallen from or come from, put it there so the mom squirrel will think to look there. So I do that. 2 hours later, the rain hits.
Okay.
So I ran out there in the rain.
The squirrel.
Ran out there in the rain. Just boxer briefs on.
Yeah, because squirrels can't handle rain. I mean, everyone knows that when it rains, squirrels go into their homes.
Covered those flaps up.
Close the door.
Carried it under the garage overhang. Oh, boy. So I wouldn't get wet.
You're investing so much time in a rodent.
I'm not kidding you, Steve.
A rodent.
When I lifted this flap of the box up, I saw it. It was like curling itself under the towel like it was like about to have a hotel rest. Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Loved it. Think, okay, I think he's going to be gone in the morning. I think he's going to be hitting the tree.
Oh, okay.
Well rested, warm, cozy.
Yeah.
Found his mom, so we go out there in the morning. It's still in the box. Still sleeping, breathing, sleeping. He's okay. Put him back under the tree. Open up the flaps, kind of move the towel around so that
let that morning light.
Time to get up, baby squirrel.
Time to start the day.
Wakey, here's your Fruit Loops. And we go about our day. Ree goes to school. He checks in on the baby squirrel. Katie does her work. I go out there. Afternoon. When I get a call from Katie, who is going to pick up Reed at school. And I say, okay, I better go ensure the squirrel has departed up the tree. So we don't have, Reed constantly checking on it. Because what does a kid want to do? It's a soft, fuzzy squirrel. All you want to do is pet it.
Pet it, play with it, become its friend.
And that's the last thing. Like, no bare hands on this squirrel. We're not getting
you sure do seem to be enabling that a bit.
Listen, all I'm trying to enable and encourage is the willingness to help others in need.
No.
Not using spade shovels. and lacrosse sticks and lawnmowers, which, for anybody wondering, does not help the animal.
Do you want to borrow my mower? It's got the cross-cut blade on it. So, I mean, it really slices and dices.
So I go out there and the squirrel is still in the box and it is breathing. But the squirrel's not moving. And I know the squirrel's not moving because it's ridden with now ants. So now I'm in a moment of panic. Because I don't want to have that conversation I had about the Blue Jays.
Lie, man.
We lied about...
He ran away. He went back to his family.
We lied about the mice. Okay? So that's where I'm at. I'm thinking, all right, I'm in we're in our side yard that is kind of covered by that tree, on the border of our neighbor's yard with, dead pine trees and stuff that they have never maintained. So it's just ridden with leaves that are like 3 inches thick. So I think, okay, I'm going to... Baby squirrel's leaving the nest. So I don't want to have to answer more questions. If Reed sees this squirrel, that's what I want to avoid.
Yeah.
Lying, A-okay. I just don't want Reed to see the squirrel that way because he's going to know
Squirrel
something's up. Again, the squirrel is still breathing. At this point, confident that the squirrel is very sick. Or something has happened to it, or obviously needs food, right?
Yeah, by the way, door just busted open and Toby came in out of nowhere.
Podcast dog Toby here. So I lift this squirrel up, and I'll never forget it.
Oh, boy.
Because it felt like it was clinging on to this nice warm towel.
Yeah.
But in actuality, I think it was just like they have claws.
Yeah, they got little
nails.
claws probably tangled up in there or
stuck
something.
to it.
Yeah.
But in my head, this thing was, don't force me out as I'm lifting it up, trying to shake it off the towel without touching it.
Yeah, you're evicting that squirrel from the
Time
home.
to go find mom.
Yeah. Again,
will not let go.
Toss it up in that tree.
Katie's on the phone with me, and I say, oh, God. Like, it like there's just a towel now in these leaves because I didn't know if he was around the corner, so I'm walking around the corner to see if Reed's home yet. I didn't want him to come over and check. So what had happened was Reed decided to be independent 5-year-old and walk home. So Katie kind of drove alongside him as he walked home from school.
Okay.
Through the side roads. So she gets down our road and he's on our street. He knows exactly where we're going and comes home and comes over there. And we force squirrel off the towel so we can get this all cleaned up and make the scene look all nice and snug. So Reed gets home. First question, where's the baby? And Katie and I kind of look at each other. It must have left the box, Reed.
Good man. Good man.
A couple hours pass. We go, we went to some football event at the local high school. Get home, go inside. I tell Katie, I go, hey, I got to go put this in the trash can or something, Go over there. The squirrel's gone. Did I save it?
Oh, no chance.
Or did a bigger squirrel or like a bat just swoop down and consume it whole?
Yeah, I saw easy lunch.
I can't tell you how defeating this one was. And let me tell you, you're not the only one in my life who I just need someone. And if you're a listener out there who would be willing to be this person for me, I need one soul
no one's going
when
to.
I send these pictures or tell this to, I get support. Because there's not many people I sent this to. I sent to Robert with some very unpleasant language. You're not going to believe this. And I sent him the pictures of the squirrel in the box. What's wrong with it? I said, it just looks like it may have fallen out. Good God. Another murder under your belt. This was minutes after I'm trying to save it. And I said, this one, some naughty language. This one's going to live. I'm getting a win under my belt. I need to go 1-2 in Kyle's fight to save all the baby animals.
No.
I'm betting dead by 6:30 a.m.
Proved to be a pretty good bet.
I'm 0 for 3.
I think that
I've now killed 2 baby mice, 2 baby blue jays, and a baby squirrel by trying to save them.
Yeah, I think that the common denominator here is you. And your stupidity to think to think that you can beat nature.
A squirrel falling out of a nest and like asking for help is not nature, is it?
No, it absolutely is. Squirrels fall out of the nest all the time.
I'd like to hone in then before we call this an episode. I'd like to really nail down the animal for you, the wild animal, or the animal you could encounter in the wild, that you would make a small to marginal effort to save.
Start listing them. Raccoon? No.
Well,
Possum? No.
Let me give a brief aside as well, because Friday morning comes and I see the squirrel is still alive. I do a little deeper searching for squirrel or wildlife rehab or rescue, and I find literally West Michigan Squirrel Rehab. And I message them. I send them a text.
That's got to be a nonprofit, right? There's no way they're making money there.
There's no money in savings.
No chance that that they've found the niche. Like, no one has ever worked for a squirrel rescue and also had a positive balance in their bank account.
Yeah. No,
never.
No, they're getting overdraft fees. Their website says to text, so I text. Goes a few hours.
Yeah, they don't have a phone. No chance. That is a Google Voice number that you can get for free.
I link to their Facebook page. I send them a message there.
Oh, boy.
Early afternoon, I get a text message back that asks about what town I'm in, et cetera, et cetera. Says, well, we will gladly take it in, but you need to bring it to us.
I bet that it's one of those places that will gladly take it in, and then they really, really suggest a donation to their cause.
I'm sure. Maybe.
So now you're getting roped in to the financial aspect of this.
I ask, where are you located?
Oh, I know exactly where this is going.
It's a town 35 minutes away.
Because you're acting like you're better than me, but you got a line in the sand too. Your line in the sand is just distance. Mine is animals.
It's a life and distance. 35 minutes away.
Well, ultimately, life is going to play a factor in yours as well. Don't act like you're better than me. Don't act like you're doing God's work.
So
when you don't want to drive 30 minutes to save the life of a squirrel.
I'm confident.
The same It's the same outcome.
No, I'm confident I'm better than you. Someone has to bring him to us. Okay. And this is again, it's a work day.
Okay. This is a place that doesn't have a physical address. Right?
I would assume
this is
not.
You're taking this. Well, I mean, physical address meaning like a commercial establishment. You're taking this to someone's barn,
possibly,
and they're eating that squirrel for dinner.
This text message comes in at 1:24 p.m. I'm free until 2:15. 35-minute car ride in the middle of a work day. I'm literally working while this is happening.
Yeah, boy, I'm surprised that the squirrel recovery place isn't. They don't operate under regular business hours.
Don't worry, that's not the only option. 3:30 to 4.
Okay.
Or after 7 p.m.
Yeah.
Those are my options. And I said, where are you located? And they say the town, 35 minutes away. Yeah. And how do you think that conversation continued?
Well, I know that you didn't drive that 35 minutes.
The conversation didn't continue. I didn't answer him, and the squirrel died.
Again, same result. Same results. Mm-hmm. You just had a lot more invested into it.
Here we go. It's the big one. It's going up right now. Who's a better person? This one bummed me out, Steve. I mean that sincerely. Mm-hmm. It was sad. The squirrel, it felt like he was asking for help, whereas the birds are dumb, right? You're just trying to do what's right for your kid who found. I mean, I feel like it would have been much more jarring and probably not beneficial long term for his regard towards life had I seen baby blue jays on the ground chirping, and I throw them with a lacrosse stick. But
look, I mean,
To each their own.
But I mean, I think maybe you're taking that out of context. I was simply going to put them in the lacrosse stick to help them remember how to fly.
That's right. The ones who fell out of the nest, you need to remind them and their dumb baby bird brains how to fly by launching them.
Right.
So let's go through a few just random wild animals.
Okay.
Let's see. Wild
this is
animals
gonna be rapid fire too.
You can save. I just want a list.
Yeah.
That's really what I want. Because at this point, it's just going to be kind of off my head.
Do you want to do this like as the intro or as the outro music plays?
Yes.
Okay.
Mouse.
No.
Rat.
No.
Bird.
No.
Squirrel.
No.
Bat.
No. Now, let me... Bird, if we're talking like bald eagle, peregrine
I
falcon...
wouldn't save a bald eagle.
Yes, I'm helping them.
I would not. That's crazy talk. They're
America
huge.
right there.
They're huge with talons.
That's America right there.
Literally slice your jugular open.
I'd die for this country.
Butterfly. I don't even know how you'd say that.
Come on. No.
Okay. I mean, I know the answer though. Dog.
Yes.
Okay. Hamster.
No.
Gerbil.
No.
Snake.
God, no.
Like you're killing the
Those
snake.
things are serpents of death.
Possum.
Nope.
Raccoon.
No. Rabies.
Skunk.
Come on. That is the dumbest question you've ever asked.
Can you think of an animal you would save?
Nope.
Murderous tendencies here.
Just not looking to invest a lot of time into something that's going to die anyway.
That's right. The one thing people say is you don't want to invest time in saving things if you can just not.
Yeah. Big waste of time.
Early returns? Who's a better person? 100% Steve.
Thank you to all the...
And I know who that vote came from. So Tim Fuller, you can go F yourself.
Thank you to all of the Team Stevers out there. Much appreciated. At Steve and Kyle, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. It looks like the polls are up on Twitter and Facebook, right? So
They will be up on Facebook shortly.
all right. Appreciate, in advance, appreciate those contributing to my victory.
Again, if you wait to listen and then vote, I think I'm going to win.
No, the good thing is on Facebook, I think the polls only stay up for 2 days, so this podcast won't even be released by the time the poll results are in. That's a little trick that I've learned. All right, at Steve and Kyle, again, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you next week.